I'm always confident that we have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. When you have that parade, you want to do it again. That moment. Let's go out there and find a way to drag our ass across the finish line. That feeling is something that you just want to grab every single time that you get the opportunity to do.
Touchdown, Kansas City! The Lombardi Trophy has a red and gold reflection. We ain't done yet.
Things looked a little bit different on Christmas after a pretty ugly home loss to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Kansas City Chiefs have been eliminated from taking over the #1 seed in the AFC, and Kansas City has lost 4 of the last 6 games this season and sits as the #3 seed in the AFC, which is new territory for Mahomes. But listen to Travis Kelce today on his team.
It's not just one guy. It's not just me playing like dog shit. It's not just us not being able to get the run game going. It's not just us not being on the same page passing wise. It's everybody's in this thing together. Everybody at some point isn't being accountable, and we all just got to bring it together, man. Everybody's just got to do their job. Every single play, it's somebody not doing their job, and it's me. It's one by one. It's everybody on the team.
That lack of accountability was a big topic yesterday and a big topic after that game. And so it's nice to see Travis Kelce kind of calling that out. But what do you guys think when you hear that, Kmart?
I mean, he's right. Yeah. That's part of the problem. The fact that it's not just them dropping passes, which we spent a lot of time this season talking about. It's not just their offensive tackles giving up pressure. It's not just Patrick Mahomes seeming to be pressing at times. It's not just the lack of a strong and consistent run game. It's just everything. Even Travis Kelce, to his point, he hasn't looked the same this year. Patrick Mahomes, he's a career high in interceptions right now. Mm-hmm. This entire season, there's so many things going wrong with this team. And yet again, because of 15, I am not ready to cross them off my list of Super Bowl contenders. There are concerns because week 16, week 17, and we're still talking about the same issues, the drops, and the amount of pressure that he's under in the pocket. He's under duress way too often. But they have, listen, the only difference is with this Chiefs team from last year is Juju's not there and Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy not being there. Say what you want about the man not calling plays, and it's all Andy Reid. But at this point, it's not. I'm not speaking out of turn to say that man was the glue in that room offensively. Because when we're talking about accountability, when we're talking about attention to detail, when we're talking about who's keeping guys in line, dealing with personalities and managing all of that, there are things that go beyond play calling. So losing Bieniemy is a big deal. I still think they have it's the same roster essentially from last year. Yeah. But the offensive tackles clearly are an issue. Marcus, we were talking about that this morning, that it's a huge concern for this team.
Yeah, the roster to me is completely different, Kmart. I got to disagree with you on that because of those tackles, because of how they've played, the penalties, the giving up the pressures. To me, they different up front. And we just heard, first of all, me and Travis, that's my guy. We cool. Every time we see each other as cordial, we talk a lot. Travis, don't be mad at me. But all y'all damn Chiefs fans who in my damn Twitter right now and in my DMs that's mad about me saying the same damn thing that Travis Kelce just said on Get Up this morning, go to his DMs and tweets now and tell him how mad you are and how much he lying. And he actually there. He knows what's going on. But let me get back to what you were saying, Kmart, because here's the thing with the Chiefs, right? Patrick Mahomes' interceptions are a direct tie to what we've been seeing from this team. He's pressing. He's made some very bad decisions as well, and it forces you to do that. When you have zero confidence that on a consistent basis, your receivers are going to come through for you, even though you keep trying to put these guys in positions and situate. He had one over the middle to Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney dropped it, ended up in an interception. All of those things matter. So Mahomes has become a part of the problem and the issue. And I like what Travis said. It's everybody. And you know what that means when a player says that? It's our coaching staff too. Accountability needs to be throughout the entire building. And that's the point, Kmart, that you made about Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy, is he an offensive guru? I don't know. They had a lot of success when he was there on offense, though. Now that he's gone, they seem to be struggling. Something has changed. It's the same thing you see in Philadelphia. Prolific offense, different offensive coordinator. Things change. There's an element that was left when Eric Bieniemy left this team of accountability. Because if you know anybody and you talk to anybody, which Kmart does, which I have a lot of friends and that's playing in the league, a lot of guys that I talk to that coach in this league, he is the accountability police. And you know what accountability does? It shows its true self from week 1 to week 17. And you know what hasn't happened in Kansas City? Things have not gotten better from week 1 to week 17. When you have arguably the greatest tight end to play the game when it comes to what he's been able to do with Travis Kelce, talk about accountability going into the 17th game of the season. You're lacking something within your coaching staff. And we can put it on the players too. They got to hold each other accountable. Mad Dog, this is a bad sign. And I know it's hard for me because I think Patrick Mahomes, talent-wise, is going to be the greatest quarterback that we've seen play in this league over the span of his career. They got real issues, brother. And it don't look like it's getting fixed just because he's 15 and they going into the playoffs, because it's not mostly about Patrick Mahomes. If this was Patrick Mahomes making bad decisions, we could say, you know what? He can fix that in a couple games. Everything will be fine. It's fires everywhere, Mad Dog. It's like when you're playing them games and you put out a fire over here and the other ones start and you're like, damn, I got to go back to square zero and get it going. That's the Chiefs right now.
In the AFC, the Bills are cruising, also winning 3 straight after a surprisingly rough start to the season. They currently sit behind the Browns for the 6th spot in the AFC and play the Patriots this week. All right, Kmart, who do you feel has a better chance making a deep run in the playoffs, the Browns or the Bills?
You know what? I'm not going to pick with my heart. I'm going to pick with my head. Everybody's expecting me to say the Browns because I lived part-time literally the entire season in Cleveland. But no, this was actually really difficult. And the fact that it was a difficult choice to make is actually pretty stunning. I'm going to say Bills, right? But slightly. Only for 2 reasons. The quarterback and the collection of injuries. But really, honestly, guys, the fact that we're even talking about the Browns right now, that this is even a question, speaks to the job that GM Andrew Berry has done, Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, DC Jim Schwartz, and then Myles Garrett being that guy, and of course Joe Flacco. I think when you look at the teams in the AFC, I feel like at some point you would, if you're going to choose between these 2 quarterbacks, you're going to go Josh Allen. They have the better quarterback. Flacco, everybody's sort of waiting for Flacco to turn back into Flacco. I sat down with him last week and he said, I understand I'm not the sexy pick. I'm not the sexy choice. Everybody's looking at him, waiting for him to throw 3 interceptions a game, right? The Browns to be 10-5 right now and to lose Nick Chubb in week 2, to lose Jedrick Wills, to lose a ton of offensive linemen, to lose leaders on their defense, Grant Delpit, like Anthony Walker, like these are guys who literally are leaders on the back end. And I think at some point, the injuries might catch up to the Browns. That is the only reason, quarterback and injuries, that I'm picking the Browns, because really this is a fantastic season for them thus far. And this is a team that I wholeheartedly believe can win a Super Bowl with the roster that they have. But I'm just going to give the slight edge to Buffalo.
I think there are 2 teams, and the Rams got a bad break with the Niners losing. There are 2 teams right now in the NFL that you don't want to play. The Rams are 1, and I think the Browns are 2.
Ooh.
I think the Browns have a lot of karma going.
Karma?
Well, you know, they haven't won since 1964, and boy, is there ever a franchise that deserves a little break, it's Cleveland. They played, as you said there, Kimberly, they played their 4th quarterback this year, and Flacco's gone down there and he's played really well. They lose Chubb. They've lost $1 million offensive linemen. Here it is. We sit there with 2 games to go. What are they, 11-5? No, they're 10-5. They're 10-5 with 2 games to go. They're going to beat the Jets because they haven't made the playoffs yet. That's going to give them 11 wins, and then they're going to be able to take the week off against Cincinnati because they can't win the division. So they'll be 11-5, and they'll be the 5th seed, and then they're going to go play the AFC South winner, and they can win that game. And I'll tell you right now, if there's one team that can beat the Ravens in Baltimore, it's Cleveland.
Division rivals.
Flacco's not going to be intimidated by the Ravens. He played in Baltimore. I got a funny feeling.
Those two defenses against each other, the Ravens think they're the best defense. The Browns will tell you, no, we are in fact the best defense.
Yes, and not that they won there already this year with now Watson played great, so let's not forget that. I got a funny feeling. I'm going to say defense, Flacco, karma, Marcus. I'm going to say Cleveland the most dangerous in the AFC.
Yeah, I think if they go play the Ravens in Baltimore, he's going to throw a lot of interceptions. That's what I think. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I think right now Josh Allen is playing well, but also being insulated by Joe Brady and the way he's calling plays. And now this team is playing great complementary football. You see this defense starting to get after people up front. I'm not going to discredit how they dismantled Dallas at home. This team has had to win games to stay afloat and have an opportunity to get into the playoffs, and they've responded in a tremendous way. You look defensively with some of the injuries they have, Matt Milano being out. They lost Tre'Davious White. Now they're starting to turn the football over. The pass rush is coming to fold. The run game with James Cook. And I know it wasn't a phenomenal performance against the Los Angeles Chargers, and that could always give you a level of concern. And Josh Allen did what Josh Allen usually does and gives the ball away one time a game, no matter what. But ultimately, this team has been under a large amount of pressure for like the last 4 weeks. And they've been able to come through and play really good football. But to me, Joe Brady has made the most significant difference, and what tells me that Buffalo has a better chance to make a deep playoff run, because it is no longer about Josh Allen, just go out there and see what you can do to make it happen. This team holistically now is playing good football. And guess what, y'all? Stephon Diggs ain't went off since the change in Joe Brady, and they've been winning games. So imagine when Diggs gets going, when we get into the playoffs, because I have to believe they're going to try to get him more involved in these pressure cooker games. I think the Bills right now have positioned themselves with a coaching change that was made, and give Sean McDermott credit, because he take a lot of heat for the 12 people on the field during the kick. He took a lot of heat about the defense giving up plays. Give him credit for making a change, going away from Ken Dorsey to Joe Brady and recognizing what they needed to do to get better.
Here's, Marcus, I agree with you. Here's another thing. With Josh Allen, his kryptonite is himself. Yep. Really, like talking to defensive players and defensive coordinators.
Absolutely.
They don't want to face him because he's such a load, because he plays like he's a running back or a linebacker in a quarterback's body. Now, also, when you look at the teams that the Bills have beaten, Miami, Dallas, Kansas City, and they lost by 3 points to the Eagles on the road in overtime.
Should have won a game.
So yes, the Browns, I was there when the Browns beat San Francisco. That was on a field goal. You know what I mean? So again, I just think the Bills right now are a team that nobody would want to face, but to your point, Mad Dog, if it's a situation where they got to face the Ravens, that's really good. Because you can't just say, oh, well, Lamar and the Ravens are going to. Yep.
Browns, Marcus,
for sure.
Browns could win that game. They could win that. That's not impossible.
Yeah, they could.
They could win that game.
They could. Mad Dog, you know too, and Kmart knows, and even when I was playing in Dallas, division games are hard, bro. It don't matter. I think it was 2007 or 2009. We beat the Giants twice in the regular season, had to play them in the playoffs and lost. They went on to beat the New England Patriots, who were undefeated. Division games are hard. They are always a toss-up.